Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo here. It's another late night video, so I'm going to be talking with more of a softer tone. You guys who've been around the channel know what's up here. But we are going to be talking today about the Red Dragonstone. Now the reason why I kind of wanted to give this some more thought, because I think I've even done a video about this if I remember correctly. I know a lot of people have, like explaining, hey, what should you use on the stone, or which unit, excuse me, should you use the stone on when you get it, who should you pick, all that kind of good stuff. Now this will probably be primarily for global players because you will get maybe 2 more redstones, because I think global has only ever gotten 1 in the past, and this is the 3rd one that JP is getting, so you probably should get 2 more. Of course I have no idea if that will be the case, but you should get at least 1 more. Either way, I wanted to talk about this, and the reason why is because, of course, literally right after here, before we talk about that, literally right after I bought Goku, as soon as the stone dropped, I bought this boy here, Goku, got another dupe for him, my second dupe. I'm like, awesome, he'll hit like a monster. Then I check the news real quick, and guess who is there? The Extreme Z-Awakening for STR Broly. This is, of course, the OG Dokkan Fest unit from way back in the day. I was not here when this unit first dropped. I did pull him on my own global, though, but that's besides the topic at hand here. So I kind of want to talk about, for anybody who plays JP and hasn't used their redstone yet, I know the majority of us have. I literally used it as soon as it dropped, or any global players that are going to be getting this in the future. I kind of wanted to talk about how you should go about this, because originally, and I know I even said this in a stream that happened today when this video was being filmed, I was like, only go for Super Saiyan 3 Goku or Full Power Frieza. They're the only units that are worth it. Obviously Goku has the Extreme Z-Awakening, and Full Power Frieza is a monster with dupes on the cooler team, like without any, like buffs that he may get in the future, which we'll talk about in a second. He's already incredible. So those are the only 2 units that you should pick. Now, that was before we got this news. Now, of course, this Broly news leads me and everyone else in the community to believe that all of these guys will eventually get an Extreme Z-Awakening, which makes sense. These guys are kind of the OG Dokkan Fest units, and, they deserve some love, and of course they're kind of outdated now, so it's good that they're getting these buffs. Of course we just had Goku get the Extreme Z-Awakening, and now with Broly here, like I said, we can only assume that the rest of these guys will get one too. So I kind of wanted to clarify this, as well as give further opinions on this as to kind of who you should pick, because now my opinion has changed. Before, like I said, I would have said only pick those 2 units, but now it's a different story, and I'm almost regretting, kind of, but not really, because I love that Goku. He's amazing with that Extreme Z-Awakening, and I have a team to use him on. But I kind of regret not picking up Intelligence Gohan here. I have 1 dupe in him already with the top left, but I don't know, if he does, which he most likely will, of course, get this Extreme Z-Awakening, I almost would have rather had him for the int team. I don't know, maybe. Goku was a good choice either way. But now, I honestly think, depending on your account, any of these cards would be a great choice. Now, here's the thing. I always say in my videos, when I talk about should you summon on a banner or not, unless there's something big coming up, like the Christmas event, was coming up for physical Gotenks, or whatnot. Usually what I say is, if this banner, has something that your account needs, then go for it. I'm going to stick to that here because that's the theme that I've been going with in a lot of videos, and it just kind of makes sense to me. Keep with the units that you think would make your account better. Now, we do have all of them here, and we're going to pull them up. I'm not really good with, kind of predicting what buffs these units might get, or what kind of stat boost they might get, that kind of thing. I'm not really a numbers type of guy, but I do know this game pretty well. I've been playing it for a while, and I've played a lot of games of its kind. So I like to think that I still have some pretty good thoughts on this either way. So for what I mean with what it pertains to your account, basically, we're basically looking at what characters does your account have. Do you have a solid AGL team, or Bardock is the Super Saiyan 3 category lead? Great, then I'd recommend picking up the AGL Goku. Do you have, LR Goku Black and, Super Saiyan 3 Broly? Awesome, then I would recommend picking up the tech cell, because honestly, with that extreme z-awakening, he might not be bad. He's probably the worst on here at the moment. Maybe Broly's worst, I don't know. But in my opinion, I kind of rank them. Full Power Frieza and Goku are kind of tied, but I think that's just because Goku has that extreme z-awakening. Frieza would be better at just the base of all these units. I think it would be Frieza, Goku, Gohan, and then Cell or Broly. I'm not too sure on which would be worse, but either way, you know, it's kind of just what you have for Gohan. You know, if you have Super Int or Mixed-Blooded Saiyans, you know, he would work great on there. Broly, of course, would work well on Extreme STR. We will talk more about him in a second. As well, Full Power Frieza, you know, obviously if you have the Physical Villains squad, he's going to be disgusting. Like, he's already really good on that team. Minus 2 dupes on JP. I really should use that more because I use my physical team on Global more. Anyhow, you know, Broly doesn't have a category yet as far as... Oh, no, he has Revived Warriors. So you could run him on there. So it kind of just pertains to really whatever your account needs. Because honestly, at this point, I think all of these units are now viable picks, considering that they're all candidates for Extreme Z-Awakening. And I'm like pretty sure, like 98% sure that now all of these guys will get that Extreme Z-Awakening, you know, considering that we've had 2 of the 5 get it. You know, it's only a matter of time. Of course, it all won't happen at once. But I did want to cover Broly in a second. So I was watching D-Free's video, and he brought something up that I think is something important to cover for Broly. Of course, this man was the OG AoE unit. If you don't know what AoE is, it's Area of Effect. Basically, he attacks everybody. Kind of what famously LR Broly does in the World Tournament. So we have to kind of think about this here in the way that, you know, obviously they're not going to make him as good as LR Broly. You know, LR Broly will kind of be the, you know, end-all be-all best STR Broly unit, at least for now. You know, I guess they could release something better in the future. I don't know how they would, but that's neither here nor there. So I would think that they would, you know, buff him up, and he would probably be a little bit better. You know, obviously he'll get buffed up since he's getting the Extreme Z-Awakening, but you know, probably his AoE will be better, and I hope that he'll be better in the World Tournament. And now this was the point that D-Free made that I thought was really good that I wanted to talk about. I want this Broly to be good outside of the World Tournament, and what I mean by that is, you know, he brought up the fact that really Broly units, you know, particularly you know, the AoE units like STR Broly, you know, the LR one and this Broly, are really only good in the World Tournament at this point. You know, really people don't use them outside of the World Tournament. You know, occasionally you see a Broly here or there on your friends list. You know, I suppose if you don't have another STR lead, you know, you'd run your LR Broly and whatnot. But Brolys are pretty much only relevant in the World Tournament, which is really unfortunate because, you know, the cards deserve more love, and I know in the West we certainly love our Brolys over here, our big buff men. So I really hope that they do him justice and give him a buff that, you know, would basically entice people to use him not just in the World Tournament, but outside of it too, because, you know, I think that the card deserves a little bit more love than that, especially since he was the very first Dokkan Fest unit. So let's talk about real quick. Let's just take a look at what Goku's boost here was with his Extreme Z-Awakening, and then let's kind of compare it to what all of these guys here. So of course they're all the plus 3,000 oh, switch to and get Pokemon Go coins, cool. They're all the plus 3 key, plus 3,000% to attack for their type, right? So that's what their original leader skill is. Of course, Goku's was pretty much buffed to the equivalent of Super Vegeto's leader skill, you know, plus 3 key still, and then attack, HP, and defense plus 70%. I think we're safe to assume that all of these guys will get the same kind of treatment. You know, I would venture to guess that that'll probably stay the same. I don't see them changing that for any reason. Now, let's take a look at the passive here, or excuse me, the super attack. You know, causes supreme damage and lowers enemy's defense. This here causes immense damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense. So, we can basically kind of assume that these guys will all get their stuff buffed. Let's take a look at each one individually. So, let's take a look at Broly, since he is kind of the hot topic of today. You know, defense reduced to 0, and then attack plus 7,000 when attacking. Of course, this could kind of go either way. You know, of course, Broly cards are kind of famous for reducing their defense, you know, once they you know, launch a super attack. You know, this is his passive skill, but you get my point. You know, they're kind of famous for reducing their defense. I'm wondering if they'll either keep this and do something crazy with his attack, because I'm pretty sure that they'll change his attack to a percentage based thing, because, you know, flat boosts are kind of, you know, we've had a couple units come out with flat boosts recently, but, you know, more so the units that are kind of, you know, more up there in terms of relevancy and, you know, usage and whatnot are units with a percentage passive. So I honestly think that they'll probably give Broly a percent passive. I don't think that they'll just buff up the flat boost. That's just kind of my prediction, though. Maybe they'll leave the reduced 0, maybe it'll get reduced a little bit less. I'm not too positive there, but I could see it going either way. The links we don't really need to look at. You know, he'll get a couple extra links. Of course, he gets... was there something that he got from Extreme Z-Awakening? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure not. But either way, the point still stands. You know, here, attack plus 100% for 7 turns at the start of turn. Here, defense plus 70 at the start of turn. Did you hear that voice crack? Holy cow. Attack plus 120% for 7 turns from the start of turn. So, you know, he just got a percentage buff, and he even got something added there. You know, he didn't have anything related to the defense before. So I don't know, maybe they'll remove the defense thing, but I don't see that happening just because of the other Broly units that we have in the game. Let's take a quick look at the other units, and then we'll actually pop back to Broly for a second to look at something that was kind of unprepared on my part, but that's okay. So right, this man, his super attack greatly raises attack and causes supreme damage. We can assume that that'll probably be changed to immense there, considering that Goku's went from supreme to immense there. Greatly lowers attack, or not lowers, sorry, greatly raises attack will probably be the higher one up. I can never remember what all the specific wordings are for that, but it'll probably be the higher, you know, like raising attack. That would be my guess there anyway. Of course, this is all kind of speculation here to go along with the Extreme Z-Awakening thing. So, passive skill, plus 5 key, attack 10,000% up when key is 7 or more. I honestly love this card. I really do. I ran him on my int for a while when I didn't have anything else. And he's pretty cool. It's just really awesome that he pretty much supers every time he's out on the field, considering he gets that 5 key, you know, and the int team links so well with each other. It's just kind of a cool unit. So I think with a buff, you know, obviously that'll be awesome. Oh, he'll be great to run. I can't wait. He was one of the units that I was first, like, when they announced this whole Extreme Z-Awakening thing, I'm like, this was the first guy that came to my mind. So I think they'll probably change that to a percentage thing. They'll probably keep the 5 key. I don't see them changing that. You know, 6 key, like, he already pretty much supers every time that he's out on the field anyway. So I don't really see them changing that. You know, 7 key or more. Maybe they up this if it's a percentage boost. You know, I'm not really sure there, but that's kind of my guess. They might up the key. They might not change that, but I would guess that they would change that to a percentage type of thing. Alright, so moving on to Cell here. This man desperately needs some help. He is not that good. You know, of course, we're not really looking at any of his stats. Like I said, I'm not really too much of a math guy when it comes to these. There's other YouTubers, you know, D-Free, Dokkan, that's more their forte, or at least I think so. I don't know about D-Free with math, but I know he's certainly analytical when it comes to the game, which is good, that's why I watch it, because I like that kind of thing, you know, coming from him, not me. Anyway, cause supreme damage to enemies, so they'll probably just change that to immense, again referencing back to Goku here. You know, they changed his supreme to immense. They could add something, you know, with the super attacks. Gohan's, of course, you know, is this probably will change the same, just because it already has the attack mechanic and of course supreme damage. This they might change, you know, causes massive damage. I don't think we win over Broly. That was my point, or my bad, excuse me. Maybe they'll add something to that too. But I believe they'll, you know, buff that, whatever the one that's over mass. I don't know if it's immense or not. I don't know. I'm terrible again with the, like, specific naming conventions of how powerful the super attacks are. Anyhow, back to Cell here. We can assume that. Maybe they'll also add something like they gave to Goku. That would probably be my guess, considering his super attack is kind of just simple right now. And Goku's was, you know, well, I guess it was both before, but I don't know. I feel like they might add something to that, but maybe not. Maybe they'll just make it immense and be done with it. Anyhow, the passive skill here, attack and defense plus 12% for every key sphere obtained. So of course this man is a nuker. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that, honestly, because nuking is, you know, kind of not a thing anymore. And, you know, nobody really uses nuking. You know, once in a while you'll see a nuking video pop up just for fun, and sometimes a punch a mic squad, by the way. Sometimes it's just kind of fun, you know, to nuke just for the heck of it. But I don't know. I don't know if they'll change that or not. Maybe they'll make it higher for percentage, because of course they're still technically nuking characters, you know, obviously LR Gohan being one. So I don't know, maybe they'll just make his maybe they'll make that a little bit higher. You know, I would say 24, but that kind of seems low. I don't know. Either way, I think they'll probably buff this up, and that'll probably be that for Cell. Then we move on to this man here. This guy really doesn't even need a buff, to be perfectly honest with you. Another voice crack, I apologize about that. But causes immense damage. He's already causing immense damage, so I don't know what they're going to do with his super attack. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. I don't see them making it any stronger than that, but maybe for the super attack then they add an effect to it. That would make more sense to me, you know, since he's already at immense damage. Of course, he's already getting 120% when performing a super attack, and his stats, you know, when he's maxed out are really good. You know, he hits super hard on physical, extreme physical. So, I don't know, maybe they'll buff this up, but like, what are they going to do with this man? Frieza is the one I'm the most curious, and I probably don't have the most speculation for, because I just have no idea, because he's already pretty good. So, I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts. I know it's kind of loosey-goosey, but again, you know, I'm not really the analytical, and like, you know, mathematical guy in the community. I just like the game and playing it and talking about it with you guys. But that was kind of my attempt at it. So let me know what you guys think of that. I know this was kind of like two kinds of videos in one. You know, we were talking about the redstone itself and, you know, what to do with these units. And then, of course, the little bit of speculation for the units that would probably most likely get an extreme z-awakening here. But yeah, that's gonna do for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on everything here. You know, how do you think that they're gonna buff these units? You know, who do you think that you should use your redstone on? All that good stuff. Leave it in the comment section below. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Epic Mewtwo out. Peace.